Hi, and welcome to my show, Enlightenment. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Doc Honeycutt, and thank you for joining my show this evening. Tonight, I have a really awesome guest, and we've shared a platform together, but oh my God, things have really changed since the last time I saw her, and she was my guest on my TV show. But I'm not going to string you along. I want to jump right in with the show because for some reason, mental illness, mental health, depression, anxiety, it's been big for me this month. I've been I've been pulled to have shows that talk about it, so I feel like somebody need to hear about it. And nobody wants to talk about it because when you start talking about it, people think that, you're calling them crazy, and it gets a little uncomfortable. So Miss Candice is going to help us to turn our negatives into a positive, and give us really good tips on how we can live a normal life and get the negatives from anxieties and depressions and mental illnesses out of our lives. So with that being said, I'm going to give her the platform. How you doing?
Hey, Doc.
Hey.
I was telling Doc before the show that I was so excited to know a doctor. It's so important to, just have people in your circle that are intelligent and know where they're going and just understand the mental health, and not only the mental health, but biologically, the body and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited about being here on the show and excited about talking about mental health. I know as a therapist, I just want to spread the word as much as possible, and being someone that has been depressed and has suffered the anxiety and understanding that I can definitely help and spread the word to other people about it,
So I totally respect that, I was on a mission. Well, I am on a mission. I'm on a healthcare mission. But, I have a story. Just like you say, you experienced some anxieties before. Well, I was one that experienced, I lost over 100 pounds. Yeah. So, I just really respect somebody when they have experienced it and they're here to tell about it. Yeah. So I can't wait to hear your story. Yeah. But, we want to find out a little bit about you first. Yes. Let us know who you are, because like I said, things have changed. I'm looking over to the right.
Yes, they have changed. So, since the last time I was on the show, her other show, basically it's been so much has went on, a husband, a baby, now, so I get to see from that perspective of how things are going, as far as being a mom and being pulled in that direction. And still, I can see how moms of today, they feel the pressure. They feel like the pressure of, am I good enough? Am I doing everything right? Am I doing everything right in my relationship? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do? And just all that pressure that society puts on you to be perfect and to have it all together. And, some days you're just going to have your hair tied and you just want to relax, but there's so much pressure, and you can have depression and anxiety from all of that. So now I'm just using my story of that I've overcome the depression and anxiety to just help other people. And right now I have a Living Your Dream Summit, and basically I go live on Facebook on Saturdays, and I just tell people to go ahead and do what God has called you to do, because I realized that when I started to do my purpose and started to do the things that I'm supposed to do, the things that are burning inside of me to do, then it was like the depression, anxiety was relieved because I'm helping other people and I'm doing other things. Of course, you have to pour into yourself, but the thing is, when I realized, okay, this is my purpose, this is what I was called to do, then I felt a sense of empowerment. I felt the confidence coming and everything like that. So.
I always have to reference back to Mr. Squirty King. He's a host of, one of our shows here. And, he always say he's better, he is happier than he said, most of the time. And so I'm just trying to reference back to what he says, to be like, I just can't see how people can get in a dark place and stay in that dark place and they don't know how to talk about they need help. So, I can imagine just being in a dark place. I have family members that, they're like, you don't understand, how depression is.
Right.
You get up, you're in a dark place. You go to bed, you're in a dark place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, how do you help somebody like that?
Well, somebody like that, there's different stages. You have your people that are chronically depressed, that they can't get out of bed, they can't do anything, their brain is unstable, and they don't have enough chemicals in the brain to tell them to get up, to give them the energy that they need. So they do need medication. And where we go wrong is we're supposed to have medication, and we're supposed to have therapy to go along with that. So you're getting your skills, and you're getting the medication to go along with that. So eventually one day you can get off medication, and sometimes people have to be on medication for the rest of their lives. But it is difficult because seeing a therapist or seeing someone or reaching out for help is hard in and of itself, and people don't really do that. They just rather wallow in it, and then people are seeing therapists as, oh my gosh, I gotta go talk to a shrink, or I gotta go get help. Like, I'm not crazy, so they take on that perception that, okay, nobody can help me, and nobody can do anything. What would really help is if you have loved ones or something like that would say, just recommend that they go see a therapist. But then, you have some people that just won't go until it's the worst of the worst. They're in the hospital, or, they've just reached exhausted all of their resources, and they can't do anything but go to the hospital. So at
what point can you bail somebody out? A grown person. You can't say, I'm going to take you. Or, right. Call them hostage, get in the car.
Yeah.
At what point can you call professional help in to kind of take over? Because this person is crying out. They're talking about taking their lives.
Right.
How do you
the assessment? Well, if they have a plan, if they have a plan to commit suicide, then that's when you want to take them in. If you just have that weird feeling, your family member, so what's going on with them. And if you just have that feeling like you feel as though they're going to take their lives, they may not have a plan, they may have not told you a plan, but if you feel like they are, you take matters into your own hands. Maybe you don't tell them where you're going, and maybe you just say you're going somewhere else, and you take them to the hospital, or you take them to see a therapist. Sometimes that's what it takes, because people, being depressed, it's like looking inward. You're always looking inside. You don't see anybody else. You don't think anybody can help you. It's, my pastor once said, it's a selfish disease. You just feel like nothing can help me. No one can help me. They can't see anything. It's dark all around them. So it's basically like being alone in a closet almost. And they don't want to see the light.
So is that something that you experience? I mean, can you say, yes, that is how it is?
Yeah, that is how it is. You feel as though, I know what caused my depression was worrying about what other people said about me, and living for other people, and not living, for myself, or living for the purpose that God had given me. So, it started to cave in on me, and I didn't see God. I didn't see anybody. It was just a dark cloud that just came over me. And then the anxiety comes in whenever you're just like, oh my gosh, they're talking about me. Somebody said something about me. What's going on? So, so that's, where all that happened. But I mean, it's really hard, because it's just like constant crying. You don't know how you're going to get out of it. And you just have to constantly get up, take one step every single day, take one step every single day. And that's how, I got out of it, through God, of course, and He was the one that helped me. But it was like step by step by step. It wasn't an easy process. So as that
right.
Losing the weight, it wasn't an easy process. You had to see, me getting out of this every day.
So what was that first step by step by step?
Well, I remember the first step being, at one point I wanted to take my life, and I remember God saying to me that, I had a plan and everything, and God told me, He said, you have a purpose. And that's what, it was a small, quiet voice said, you have a purpose. you have a purpose. And it was sad now that I look back on it. I'm like, why did I care so much, about what other people thought? And it's just really a sad place to be in. But I'm so glad that I'm out of it and I can help other people now,
So helping other people, I know you are really into like teenage girls. Is that correct?
Yes,
so
yes.
Can we talk about that?
Yes. So I have a foundation called Be You Be Beautiful. And with that, I'm helping girls to know that they're worth it, to know that they don't have to be like anybody else. They don't have to be like the supermodel. If they still want to wear, curls in their hair like I do, people pick on my curls, so who cares? So if they still, want to wear these type of clothes or those type of things, and that's okay. They can be like that. They don't have to wear, the bundles, or they can wear their natural hair. They can wear weave. They can do anything they want to be. They can be anything they want to be. So that's what I'm teaching teen girls,
And that's very important. You don't need other people to validate who you are.
Yeah.
Own yourself. Own you. Love who you are.
Yeah.
But I know sometimes some people need a little bit more help, finding themselves than others.
Oh, yeah.
I like I say, I have a story too. So.
Yeah.
Now can we kind of get back to
mental health?
The mental.
Yeah.
Since like I said, I don't know why it seemed like this month is mental health month for me, because I think on all of my shows on this network, I have all of them are like mental health shows except for one, and because nobody wants to talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
So at what point did you decide that you wanted to be a therapist?
Well, I decided to be, it was told a while back, God told me a while back when I was probably a teenager that I would be helping people and just reaching out and, using the Bible to help people. I didn't know how that was going to come together, but, being a minister and stuff like that, that definitely lines up with being a therapist. So I went to Winthrop and I got a psychology degree. And then after that I said, what can I do with this? Can I go counsel people with this? And people were like, no, you can't. They're like, no, you can't do anything with that. You can go get another job somewhere else. And I'm like, well, what's the purpose of me doing 4 years of school and not having, not being able to do what I wanted to do? So I went ahead and got my master's in counseling. And so, that was the best thing. And when you have your internships. So when I had my internships, I was just so fulfilled being able to like help people. And I remember, having my first client and stuff like that. And it was just like, wow, it was just amazing to me. So just being a therapist, I just always knew that I wanted to be one.
So, I'm a fan of yours, so I kind of follow you on Facebook. And I think like the thing that really wowed me was when you blew a whistle and you ran up to the phone. Because you were doing some motivational something. I'm not sure what
the confidence boot camp.
Yes.
That I was doing.
So let's talk about that.
Yes, the confidence boot camp. I will never forget that. I just wanted to give that boot camp feel. So I blew the whistle.
You blew the whistle.
I wasn't playing. Like I was like, we're gonna get this confidence up. Because that's something also that I struggled with growing up. Just skin color, being a dark skinned girl, and just it was so much that I had to go through in order to help more people. In order to, once you've been through it, you kind of know where to go, and you can see the signs in people, and you can get them through that if they're willing to do the work, right? So the confidence boot camp is something that I did virtually, and so I took, I asked 10 women to we use Zoom. I know you've heard of that, where you have the screens and everything. So I wanted it to be intimate. So I had 10 women, and we all got together, and we learned about how they can increase their confidence in different areas of their lives. So their relationships, their health, what are they thinking of themselves, what's holding them back from doing what God has told them to do. So it was a real intimate setting. It was like 2 days of virtual counseling for me. So that's what we did last year. But this year, I'm taking it up another level.
Okay.
And I want to do it physically. I want to go to a location and have a confidence boot camp where we're doing model walks. We're teaching them how to have posture and just to believe in themselves. And this is going to be for women. So I do a lot of work with teen girls, but I also do work with women, too.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love working with the teen girls. Right now, I'm going into the schools and stuff like that.
Okay, the schools. Yeah. I saw you on live on
Facebook
again, and the children was doing something.
Yes, because I just like to have fun. You know, I'm gonna be myself, and I'm gonna dance and do whatever. So we were doing affirmations, and I was telling them I am beautiful, you know, and I am flawless, you know, and just I am smart, and just doing different things to help them remember that they are smart, that they are beautiful, and just having fun.
I was like, she's back. You know, because a lot of times I'm looking at my phone and I'm seeing patients, but so I can't have the volume up, but I'm like this, you know, while I'm treating a patient. Yeah. And, you know, that's all I saw was, I say, there she goes. That's me. You know it. I'm a move. I know, that just kind of sets the pace for everything, though, I think. Yeah. So tell us about, like, clients. What kind of clients do you normally take on? I know you say you do women.
Yes, and teen girls.
But, I mean, do they have to have, like, certain things going on with them?
Well, that's a good question. You know, most of the time I see clients have anxiety and depression, you know, adolescents and women, but it could be life issues. You know, a lot of times people think that counseling is all about mental health, but also it could be life habits. You know, maybe there's a client that, you know, just struggles with the everyday, day-to-day staying organized, and you know, when you're disorganized in your life, that causes a lot of ruckus. You know, helping adolescents to have their schedule, to be able to, you know, keep up with their homework and being motivated to make the good grades. You know, or I might have a client that maybe doesn't have their mother or father in their lives, and they just can't see, you know, the end of the tunnel, so they need help with getting back on track, because they're losing focus from school and everything else in life because they're missing a link, you know. So just helping them to recover and cope, because that's a type of grief, you know, losing someone, or you know, someone may be alive but you don't have them in your lives. That's a type of grief that, you know, I help them with. So
how do you help them to be or to become the best them that they can be?
Oh yes, that's a good question. She's laying it on me. So you know, helping them to be the best version, I don't want to tell them, you know, what they are. So what I like to do is have them, you know, see what are your qualities. I have them pull it out. You know, if they have to, okay, you may need to think about this until the next time we meet. So I have them think about what is the best for them. You know, what is the best version of you? What do you want to do? I even have some adults that don't know what they want to do. So just asking them first, what do you want to do? What is on your heart? What are your desires? And then pulling those out and saying, okay, like, how are we going to work on this? What are the deadlines? What do you want to see yourself doing next year or next month? So
when they come in, what's like an initial process for them?
Yeah, so first we do, of course, the intake, and we just make sure, you know, that, okay, what are, I like to dig deep. So the intake is not just the personal information, but it's also, okay, what are your habits like? You know, are you exercising? Are you eating correctly? I mean, not correctly, but are you eating healthy? Because that has a lot to do with your physical and mental health all go together. So, you know, you not being able to sleep, how's your sleeping habits and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed the practice I work for, Access Counseling Group, you know, and they really taught me all the different things to help me to excel as a counselor, not just be a counselor, but to also be, you know, just a deeper person, not just talk therapy, but just using the brain health and just different things like that, an integrated process to help people to be their best version of themselves.
Yeah, it's so funny that you said, you know, you have to know a lot. You dig deep. I dig deep too, and you know, I know they'd be like, stop it, it's nosy. But we have to know, because we want to get the best treatment and the best success for that person. Right. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
I mean, I'm asking you, you know, what time you get up. When you get up, you know, what's the first thing you do? You know, just all kind of things. And they're like, why do you need to know all this? Because we're going to get you better. You know, at the end of the day, we got the same goal. We're just trying to get you better.
Yeah.
Give us some of the signs and symptoms of a person having, like, anxieties and depressions.
Yeah, so the anxieties, they could be physical. They could be mental. So I'll start with the physical side. So physically you could have, heart racing, you could be sweating, you could also mentally, you could think about the same thing over and over and over and have these repetitive thoughts to have anxiety. And then, with the depression, of course, you don't enjoy doing the same things that you used to do. And I also deal with a lot of people that have social anxiety too. And that's where the confidence comes in, because you have a lot of individuals that have, they're very shy. They're and their demeanor is very, they don't want to, they're timid and they don't want to talk to anybody. So I work with a lot of adolescents with their social anxiety and being able to talk to people and just being able to have the confidence to talk to people, And then, like I said, going back to depression, the symptoms of that are, you just are tapped out, A lot of times you can't even tell when someone's depressed, which is sad. Sometimes it's like a lot of people isolate themselves and they don't want to be seen, but sometimes people just hide it, But then it comes to a point where it definitely comes out because they always want to be isolated. They don't want to talk to anybody. They're not going around to social events anymore like you used to see them. So, and it's all about also having that discernment to say, okay, my friend is not acting like they used to,
So yeah, we on a healthcare mission, and we're trying to get this story out.
Yeah.
I mean, mental illness, mental health is very important, but there is treatment out there, and treatment and also counseling work hand in hand, because you need to be able to talk about it. And everybody that you think you should talk to about it, I think it's somebody that should, you should talk to somebody that's in that area.
Right.
To me, I always I'll refer somebody out because that's not my expertise.
Right.
I can fix that, but I just think that this up here, you need to talk to somebody that really knows about it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and that's very important, talking to someone that is in their expertise. Like, I wouldn't, if you have gut health or some things that are going on with your health, I'm going to send them to you. I'm not going to try to do that because I'm not a doctor, but mentally, there are so many chemicals in your brain that, once you have those bad feelings, those negative thoughts, that sends signals to your brain, and that causes all kinds of other things with your physical health, like stomach issues, headaches, and stuff like that. So when you have those symptoms, it's all connected, but you would definitely want to see somebody that can specialize in that, because if your stomach is hurt, you're not going to sit and talk to me. You're not going to want to sit there and say,
it's all in your head.
Right, exactly.
No, it's in my gut.
Right, it's in my stomach, yeah. So just knowing where to send people is just, definitely important.
And it's definitely important, too, because, like I said, I got a book. He couldn't have me, so he attacked my loved one's mental illness. And when I started doing research about mental illness, I didn't realize there was so many different ones. Yeah. And a lot of them share the same characteristics. Right. So you definitely want to make sure you're in the right room, talking about mental illness and the things that you're going through, with the right person.
Right, exactly.
So we've talked about all this stuff, and I think our time is dwindling down, but so you got to let us know how we can fix these things that we talked about.
Yes, definitely. I would say first, it all starts with your habits and the things that, your everyday habits, like exercising and also the eating healthy and things like that. But as far as mentally changing your thoughts every day, you want to, of course, hang around people that are like-minded. You want to write your thoughts down. I often tell clients that have anxiety to do some brain dumping, journaling and writing down your thoughts. And then, how to change that to positive is, okay, you have your negative thoughts, you have your worries, but then on one side of the paper is worries. The other side of the paper is, okay, how is God going to change that? Or what is God saying about that situation? Looking in the Bible and seeing, how can that situation get better? So also, doing things like that, journaling. There's supplements out there, but of course you want to take the right supplements. So you want to see a therapist or a doctor about those things.
So you talked about eating.
Yes.
How important is eating healthy and mental health?
Wow.
And can you tell us why it's so important?
Yes. Eating healthy foods just helps you to feel lighter. I don't know if you've ever had a heavy meal. You've had the Thanksgiving meal and you just feel heavy, weighed down. Well, the same thing when we're eating every day. Eating those vegetables and eating those light foods are going to help us to have that energy and to keep us going every day. I'm not going to get into the details about that, but you know, eating the right foods help your brain. They help you to think better. They help you to think clearer and not have those anxieties. So a lot of the foods you eat could be causing some of the anxieties, you know. So just mental health and eating go hand in hand, because the chemicals that were the things you put in your body go all throughout. You know, it starts in the mind and the body. I mean, all in the body. So it's all connected.
How about alcohol? How do you feel about alcohol with mental illness?
Well, it definitely affects the brain. I would say that it affects the brain tremendously, and it lowers the brain cells, and it creates toxins and things like that. Everything in moderation, of course, but I would definitely say that it definitely affects the mental health. And a lot of people use alcohol to drain, to cover up the feelings that they're having. So that's the first step. You know, if you think you may have depression or think you may have anxiety, first step is stop covering it up. Stop running, you know, to different people and people that are going to antagonize, you know, the depression and anxiety, and stop covering it up with alcohol.
But, you know, I've experienced me having a couple drinks, and it depressed me. So I'm thinking about somebody that's already depressed. It's just putting them in a worse situation. It depressed me, and it gave me anxiety.
Yes,
and you know, those are
and it caused you to go deeper into the darkness, like thinking of the things. Okay, this is why I'm bad. Like you know, no one cares about me. You know, you just sink. You just start sinking when you.
I'm like,
and it's a depressant, right?
Not my friend,
right? It is. I mean, it's a depressant. That's why they call it a depressant. Alcohol is a depressant.
Yes, it is a depressor.
Yeah.
So, can you give us some last minute tips?
Yes. I would say, you know, just telling everyone out there to make sure that if you know you have a calling or purpose on your life, don't forget to go out there and do it. Get it done, because that's going to be your fulfillment. That's going to keep you going. That's going to cause you not to be depressed. So if you are depressed, that is a one step. Do something that you love. Start to do those things. But if you're too depressed to the point where you can't even do that, you can't even take that first step, make sure you call someone. If you don't call me, you can reach me on Facebook, Candice Counsels. You can also reach me at 803-448-1590. You can look me up, Access Counseling Group. That's a practice I work for. So make sure that you contact somebody. It may not be me. You may not want me, but just get some help. You know, get some help.
It's serious. Are there any kind of like depression hotlines? Is it?
The 1-800 suicide line. That's the one that, you know, that's the hotline for people that are thinking about committing suicide.
Okay, so I hope this is. I think this is a very informative show. I mean, I can clap myself up anyway. I think we didn't even get to scratch the surface, because I wanted you to talk about the fashion show.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do I have time to talk about it?
Just briefly, I think you do.
Okay, so basically with the teen girls, you know, I talk about having the confidence and having and feeling like you are somebody. So taking pictures and having the fashion show and having that poise down is going to cause them to have the confidence to feel like they're worth it. Because when you flash in front of the camera, at first, you know, you may not like, you may be a little shy, but then once you start to get warmed up and you start to see, okay, you know, I can be in front of the camera, I do look good, I am worth it, then you start to believe in yourself. So in the summertime, I will be having a fashion show camp for girls. So check me out on Facebook, Candice Counsels, and I'll have more information.
So that's our show, you all. We want to thank you for joining Enlightenment this afternoon. Join us right here every Wednesday on the Wake Up Call Radio and TV network. And man, when I say growing, growing, so just look out, because we're coming. Well, no, we're here. I'm sorry. So come back to see me, Miss Candice.
I definitely will. Yes,
and thank you so much. We're signing out.
All right. Peace.